Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Christie's on this crisp Saturday morning. Thank you so much for joining. I love that everybody loves to sit at the back of class. I don't bite. Come on up. I mean, come on. This is supposed to be a party. We're all having fun. We're all friends. We're all guitar lovers and Irsay lovers. Thank you for joining us, first and foremost. And thank you to those of you joining us on Christie's Live and my esteemed colleagues on either side of the phone banks. Everyone is thrilled to be here for day 3 of this extraordinary collection. As we have said right from the very beginning, as Zita Gibson has so poignantly said, this is a chorus of cultural touchstones chronicling one of the greatest collections that has been put together of film, music, sports, and of course, guitars that we're here for today. I'm Tash Perrin. I'm thrilled to be with you today. You have a lineup of some extraordinary auctioneers and some fabulous specialists that are in the room to answer any questions you have. Thank you very much for being with us. And let's get started with some sale room announcements, please. Please remember that the purchase price payable is the sum of the final bid price plus the buyer's premium and all applicable sales or use taxes. Bidders should note that the auctioneer may open bidding on any lot below the reserve by placing a bid on behalf of the seller. I, as the auctioneer, may then continue to bid on behalf of the seller up to the amount of the reserve, either by placing consecutive bids or by placing bids in response to all you beautiful bidders. Please note that some lots are made from or contain Brazilian rosewood, which is a protected and regulated species and may be restricted to bidders residing in the United States. Please refer to the lot pages and conditions of sale for more details. It's noted in your catalog. You can get other further conditions of sale from the registration desk downstairs where you picked up your paddle, or to those of you joining us online, please check the conditions of sale in our bidding agreements. If collecting in person, you may be responsible for applicable New York taxes. And for any other information, full buyer's premium rates, conditions of sale, anything else, please refer to the auction catalog that I'm happy to see many of you have here. So we can begin with lot number 301. This is the fabulous Gibson 1914 harp guitar that we saw downstairs, hanging so beautifully. Let's begin, shall we please, at $3,000 only for this, at $3,000, at $3,000, at $3,200. Thank you for joining us on Christie's Live. At $3,002, 3,500 is against you. At $3,005, $3,008, $4,000, at $4,000. Anywhere else at $4,000, looking for $4,002. At $4,002 for the harp guitar at $4,200. Anywhere else at $4,002, $4,500. At $4,500. Who would like $4,008? At $4,500. Anywhere here in the room? $4,005. Against you all here at $4,500. $4,005, $4,800. Thank you very much for joining us. Online in New York, 3175. $4,008 is your bid at $4,008. I'm going to sell it to $4,800 right here in the room. Any further advance? Selling for $4,800. Sold. Congratulations, 3175. Lot number 302 is next. This is the Gibson acoustic guitar and from 1943. And let's begin, shall we please? Absentee bid interest of the book. Let's begin at $4,002, $4,500, $4,800. At $4,008, $5,000. At $5,000 already. At $5,000, $5,500. Thank you, Texas, for joining us. At $5,005, $6,000. At $6,000, $6,005. Texas, I see you. At $6,005, $7,000. $7,005 against you. Do you want 8? At $7,005, $8,000, there you are, at $8,000. Already here in Texas at $8,000. Anyone in the room at $8,000? The bid is here in Texas, and joining us on Christie's Live, $8,000 it is, selling in Texas for $8,000. Well done, thank you, paddle 3088, that goes to you. Lot number 303 is next. This is the Gibson 1946, an acoustic guitar. I've got bids on my book already at $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 with me. On the book at $1,400, $1,500, $1,600. I see you online. $1,700, $1,800 with me. At $1,800, $1,900, $2,000 is on the book with the absentee bidder. 2,200 takes me out at $2,002, right here at $2,200. Anyone else coming in at $2,002? At 2004, thank you, Texas. 2004, 26 in a new place. At 2006. 2008. In New York at 2008, 3,000 is bid at $3,000. Right here at 3,000. 3,200, thank you, at 3,002. Texas, come back to us. 3,500 is bid at 3,134, 3,500. Who would like 3,800 at $3,500? Still here online at 3,500. Anywhere on the telephones here? 3,500, 3,800. Welcome, sir, at 3,500. 3,008, I should say. Sorry, 3,008 is your bid. At 3,800, right here in the room at 3,008. 4 is against you. Do you want 4,200? 4,002 is your bid. Well done. 4,002. Gentleman's bid here in the room at 4,200. Anywhere else at 4,002. It is your bid at 4,200. At 4,002, last chance, everyone online and selling for 4,002. Well done, 4,002. Do you want to give me your paddle? Thank you. I think it's 121. Well done. Thank you. Lot number 304 is next. Lot number 304, this is the Gibson 1949, an acoustic Archtop guitar. And we will start on this, please, at 6,000, 6,005, at 6,500. Anywhere else at 6,005, at 6,500, 7,000, 7,005, at 7,500. Anywhere else at 7,005. Looking at my online bidder at 7,500. Anywhere else here at 7,500. At 7,005. Do you want this as well, sir? At 7,500. At 7,005. Anywhere else at 7,500. Fair warning at 7,005. Last chance to you on the telephones here at 7,005. It's a pass at 7,500. Lot number 305 is next. And this is the solid body electric guitar, Gibson from 1952. And we'll start on this, please, at $13,000, at $13,000, $14,000, at $14,000, $15,000. I see you in France, thank you. At $15,000, $16,000, at $16,000, $17,000. France is back against 2 telephones here at $17,000. Any further advance at $17,000. France, you have the bid at $17,000 at the moment. Any more at $17,000. Online, $18,000 I've seen in the room, just ahead of you at 18. In the room at $18,000. Any more? At $18,000. Room bidder at $18,000. $19,000. Online at $19,000. Do you want 20, sir? Why not? Why not? $20,000. I like that. $20,000 right here in the center of the room at $20,000. 22 is online. Are you sure? Okay. Well, there was lots of applause for the guy in the room that bought the last one, so let's see what happens. At $22,000 right here. At $22,000. Online bidder has it. I'm sure we'll have another lot for you, sir. $22,000 is right here in the room and selling for online at $22,000. 3008, it is yours and selling for $22,000. I just had to check, sir. 22. Sold for $22,000, pedal 3008. Lot number 306 is next. And I have absentee bid interest on this. I can begin at $10,000 already with my absentee bidder right on the book here at $10,000, $11,000 straight away in Illinois, $12,000, new place online, $13,000. I see $13,000. I have $14,000 ahead of the online bidder. $15,000 I'll take. $16,000 is with me. At $16,000, $17,000, I'm out. $17,000. The online bidder has it at $17,000, $18,000. Now in the UK at $19,000. $19,000 is bid at $19,000. 3140 looking promising for you. 19,000 is the bid. Anywhere else? 20,000, thank you. 22,000. Illinois is back at $22,000. Anywhere else at 22,000? Here at $22,000. Illinois has the bid. France, Texas, anywhere else coming in? 22 is the bid and selling right here for 24 in time at 24,000. At $24,000. Anywhere else at 24,000, it is here at 24,000, last chance, and selling for $24,000. Fair warning, at 24. Sold for $24,000. That goes to paddle 3159. Lot number 307 is next this time, and I can begin on this electric guitar, the Les Paul model from 1952. Let's start at $10,000 for this, at $10,000, $11,000, $12,000, $13,000. At $13,000 against you, Missouri, do you want 14? 14 is in California ahead of you, 15,000. At 15,000, 16,000, thank you. France is in the bidding. At 16,000 here, 16 is the bid. At $16,000, 17,000, Missouri has it this time. 18,000, my friend in the room is back. At 18,000, 19,000 in France. At 19,000, 20,000 is bid. On my left at 20,000 in the room. Several places online, but it is here at 20,000. Anywhere else, 20 is the bid. At $20,000, still with you, sir, 22 is against you. 24? Yep, 24 is here at $24,000. Teamwork going on here in the room. $24,000 is right here at $24,000. Anyone else on Christie's Live? $24,000 in our sale room here in New York and selling for $24,000. Your bid, sir, and selling for $24,000. Well done, 24,000, 121. Lot number 308, this is the electric guitar, another Gibson showing here. Let's begin, shall we please, at 2006 only for this, at 2006, at 2006, 2008, at 2,800, 3,000, thank you. Online has the bid at $3,000. Are we going on? 3,000 it is. Online bidder has it, 3,200, welcome back, sir, at 3,002, 3,500 is against you. Do you want 3,800? At 3,005, 3,008, right here at 3,008. In the room at 3,800, 4,000 is bid. At 4,000. I love how both of you said, no, we're done, we're done. At 4,000, at $4,000. Only one of you has a paddle, but there are several of you involved. At $4,000, right here at 4,000, it is online, last chance, and selling for $4,000. Fair warning, at $4,000. Sold for $4,000, $31.34. Lot number 309 is next. This is the 56 Gibson electric guitar, Les Paul Special. Let's begin. Absentee bid interest on the book. I will begin, though, at, where am I going to be? 4,200 for this at 4,002. 4,005 right away, 4,008. I see it, 4,008, 5,000 in New York. At 5,500, 6,000. Several places, 6,005, 7,000. At 7,000 is bid, 7,500 in Delaware, 8,000 in New York. At 8,500 now. At $9,000, $9,000, 9,500, competing all online, 10,000 is the bid in New York. At $10,000, 11,000. Several of you all on Christie's Live, 12,000 at 3060. At $12,000, 13,000, 14,000, 15,000. At 15,000, anywhere else at $15,000. Still here, paddle 3060, it is with you at 15,000. Anywhere else here in the room? Carrie, at 16,000 online at 16. 16,000 has the bid. It is here at 16,000, 3169 has the bid at the moment. Anywhere else? $16,000 is here and selling for $16,000. Last chance at 16. Sold for $16,000, 3169 is your paddle. Thank you. Lot 310 is next. This is the acoustic guitar, and I have interest, let's begin with telephone bid interest maybe, but 9,000, 9,500 against you all at 9,500, 10,000, 11,000, at $11,000. Anywhere else here at 11,000? At $11,000. Online, would you like 12? At 11,000, 12 it is. In the UK at 12,000, right here at 12,000. At $12,000. At 12,000. Carrie Keene. At $12,000. UK has the bid at 12,000. At $12,000. Bit of a negotiation going on here. It is Saturday morning. We're going to give them a moment. At $12,000. Anywhere else, 12,000. It is then here online at Christie's Live. Last chance, selling with you, UK. Well done at $12,000. Sold for $12,000, paddle 3112. Lot number 311 is next. And this is the Les Paul Junior TV model. Let's begin. I have 5,000 all of you for this. At 5,000, 5,005, 6,000. At 6,000, 6,005 straight away. Thank you. At 6,005, 7,000, 7,005. At 7,005 already. 8,000 is on Christie's Live. At 8,000, 8,005, several places. At 8,005, 9,000 is bid. At 9,500. Let's go on. At 9,005, 10,000 is bid. At 10,000. Anyone else coming in? 10,000 is the bid on Christie's Live. At $10,000, 11 is bid. 12, sir. Would you like 12? 12 is yours. In the middle of the online bidding, 13,000 is against you. Do you want 14? At 13 is against you. Thank you for the bids. 13 it is on Christie's Live at $13,000. Anywhere else? 14, Sarah. Well done. 15 against you at 15,000. How about 16? 16 is already online at 16. At 16,000, 17,000. At 17. At 17,000, 18 is bid. 18,000. 19,000 with Sarah Altamer. At 19,000, she's going to be up in this box shortly. $19,000 is bid. At 19,000, do you want 20 online? 19,000 is on the telephone at $19,000. Last chance to you here. Fair warning to all the telephones. Ooh, 20,000 in time. At 20, 22,000. You can get that pedal ready. 22,000. Doesn't mean you're going to get it. At 22,000 is right here. At 22. Sarah has the bid at 22. Online, fair warning to you, at $22,000. Last chance. My gavel is up, and I will sell for $22,000. Last chance at $22,000. Sold. 1768. Thank you. Well done. Lot number 312 is next. This is the acoustic guitar, the J200, and we'll start at 10,000 only for this, at 10,000. At 10,000, 11,000, 12,000. At $12,000. At 12,000. Anywhere else? 13,000. At 13,000, 14,000. Thank you. France has the bid at 14,000. At $14,000. Right here at 14. Anywhere else? At $14,000. 14,000 is the bid right here at 14,000. Anyone else coming in? 14,000 is in France at $14,000. Last chance then, 14,000 is here and selling for $14,000. Sarah, no more bidding? 14,000, last chance. And selling, France, you have this at 14,000. Sold for 14,000, well done. And you are paddle 3050. Lot number 313 is next. This is the Sunburst Les Paul. And let's start, shall we please, at $140,000 for this. At $140,000. At 140, 150,000 straight away in France at 150,000. At 150,000, 160,000. At $160,000. At 160,000. 170,000 in the room. 180,000 in New York. Christie's Live has a bid now at 180. Do you want 190? 190 is in the room. At 190,000 against two people on Christie's Live I can see. At $190,000 right here in the room. At 190. At $190,000. 200,000. Welcome back, sir. At $200,000. At 200,000. 220,000. 240,000. At 240,000. I had to check. 240 it is. It is still in the middle of the room at $240,000. Still here at 240,000. Online, fair warning, it is in the room at 260,000 on Christie's Live. Do you want 280, sir? Do you want 270, sir? 270 it is, right there, at 270. Why not? At 270, 280 is against you. Okay, well, we tried. Thank you for your bids. 280 it is on Christie's Live at 280. I'll give you 290. Okay, 280 it is on Christie's Live at $280,000. Last chance to everyone here in the room at $280,000. It is here and selling, Christie's live bidder, for $280,000. Oh, $290,000. Sir, that was drama. $290,000 is right here in the room at $290,000. $300 would be next on Christie's Live at $290,000. Gentleman's bid in the room at $290,000. At $290,000. Looking for three. It's here at $290,000 in the room. Fair warning to you, $300 is bid. We've been here a couple of times, sir. Okay. I really appreciate your bids. Well, there you go. I mean, we've given it a good shot, right? At $300,000 then. Online has the bid at $300,000. This is a fair warning to everyone else in the room. I'm looking to you specifically and you at $300,000 then, selling for $300,000. Sold for $300,000. Well done. Thank you. That goes to paddle 3075. Lot number 314. This is the solid body electric guitar. This is a Les Paul Jr. And 2,800, 3,003, two for this at 3,200. At 3,005 straight away, 3,008. At 3,008 in Minnesota, 4,000 on Christie's Live. At 4,000, 4,002. At 4,002, 4,5. At 4,005, 4,800 is bid. At 4,008, 5,000, thank you. At 5,000, all on Christie's Live. 5,500 in Texas, 6,000 against you. At 6,500, at 6,005. Texas, come back to me. Minnesota, come back to me. 7,000 is bid. Thank you, Texas. At 7,000. Anywhere else at $7,000. 7,005. New York has this at 7,005. 8 is bid. Texas has it at 8,000. 8,005. At 8,005. Any more? 8,500. Fair warning to you here in the room at 8,005. 9,000 is bid. 9,005. At 9,005. Who would like 10? At 9,500. Our bidder in New York has this at 9,005. Anywhere else at 9,500. Still here and selling for 9,500. Last chance at 9,500. Sold for 9,500. Thank you. Pedal 3057. Lot 315 is next. This is the 59 semi-hollow body electric guitar. And let's start at $15,000 for this, please. At 15,000. At 15,000, 16,000, straight away on Christie's Live. At 16,000, 17,000. At 17, 18,000, 19,000. At 19,000. At 19,000, 20 is here. At $20,000. At $20,000. Online has this, 20,000. Anywhere else on the telephones, 20 it is. On Christie's Live and selling for $20,000. It is here, selling for $20,000. Sold on the hammer, 22. I did see that, 22, 3107 at 22,000. Just on the hammer, I'll take that bid at 22,000. At 22. Giving you a moment at $22,000. 3107, it is your bid. Giving everyone else another second at $22,000. Any more at 22. 3107, this is your bid. And selling, last chance then, fair warning, at $22,000. Sold at $22,000, thank you. And that goes to 3107. Lot number 316 is next. This is a 1960 electric guitar, Les Paul Standard. We shall start the bidding on this at $100,000, at $100,000. $110,000, thank you, at $110,000. $120,000 on Christie's Live, at $120,000. $130,000 Colorado, $140,000 elsewhere, at $140,000. $150,000, at $150,000. Still with me, $160,000 is your bid, at $170,000. At $170,000. At $170,000. Anywhere else at $170,000. $180,000 right here in the room at $180,000. $190,000. At $190,000, $200,000 is bid. At $200,000, team effort here in the room, $200,000 is the bid. at $200,000. It is in the room at $200,000. Anywhere else at $200,000. Right here in the room at $200,000. Fair warning on Christie's Live. It is your bid at $200,000. Last chance. Everyone else in the room, $220,000. $240,000. At $240,000. In the room at $240,000. It is still here. Fair warning to the online bidder. $240,000 it is. Last chance and selling for $240,000. Well done. $240,000. Thank you. 124. Right. Lot number 317 is next. This is the Gibson 1960 solid body electric guitar Les Paul model. We'll start at $160,000 with bids on my book right here at $160,000, $170,000, $180,000 at $180,000. Still with the absentee bidder at $180,000. Online, come back to me at $180,000. Right here with me, $190,000. $200,000 is bid at $200,000. Still on my book at $200,000. Anyone else at $200,000? Still here with me on the book and selling to the absentee bidder at $200,000. Last chance to everyone else at $200,000, $220,000. Sir, you're back. $240,000 at $240,000. $260,000? $250,000. I have $260,000. At $260,000 is my bid. Do you want $270,000? Nah, okay. $260,000 is still here with me at $260,000. Right here on the book at $260,000. Last chance everywhere else, $260,000. Fair warning, at $260,000. Ooh, I knew it. $270,000. At $270,000. And you're not losing your mind. This is what happens in these events. It's once in a lifetime. It's so exciting. $280,000 is with me. But you could try $290,000. Are you sure? It's $280,000 with me. I don't believe it was owned by John Lennon, no. That would be a no. But it's $280,000 with me. Do you want $290,000? All right. At $280,000, still with the absentee bidder at $280,000. It is still here with me at $280,000 and selling. I had to check, sir. $280,000 still here and selling then with the absentee bidder at $280,000. Sold $280,000. And this goes to my bidder on the book, who is 5016. Right. 318 is next. This is the Gibson 1961. And let's start at $50,000 only for this, at $50,000. At $50,000. Right here at $50,000. At $50,000. Anywhere else at $50,000. At $50,000, $55,000, $60,000. At $60,000. Anywhere else at $60,000. At $60,000. Against you here in the room at $60,000. Anywhere on the telephone, $60,000 it is. Last chance, $60,000. Fair warning, at $60,000. That is a pass at 60. Lot 319 is next. This is the Gibson 1963, the acoustic guitar, Everly Brothers. And we shall begin with absentee bid interest on my book. I have at $8,000, $8,500, $9,000, still here with me at $9,000. At $9,000, $9,500, $10,000, still with my book. At $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 is mine. At $12,000, $13,000, $14,000. At $14,000, still with the absentee bidder on my book at $14,000. At $14,000. In fact, my iPad, $15,000, $16,000, still with me. At $16,000. Anywhere else at $16,000. Come back to me, Texas, $17,000. Natalie, I heard you at 17. I have $18,000 against you both at 18. Who would like 19? 19,000. My new BFF, 19,000 right here in the room at 19,000. Do you want 20? 20 is bid at $20,000. 21,000 is bid. Do you want 22, Natalie? At 22,000. Should we try 23? Okay, 22,000 is right here at $22,000. Natalie's bid, our head of sale at $22,000. Anywhere else at 22,000. My absentee bidder is out. You're out, sir. Last chance in the room. And selling. Natalie, your bid at $22,000. Well done. 22,000. Thank you. And you are 1774. Right. 1774. Lot 320. This is the Gibson 1964 electric guitar. This is the Firebird 5. Let's begin at $10,000 only for this at 10,000. At 10,000, 11,000 in New York, 12,000. At 12,000, 13,000, 14,000, 15,000, 16,000. At 16,000 against you. At 16,000. No, in fact, it is your bid online at 15,000. I'll take that bid. At 15,000. Back to the online bidder at 15. At 15, there it is. 16,000 in New York this time. At 16,000, thank you. You have this now at 16,000. 3057, that is your bid. At 16. At 16,000. I have 17,000 right here on my iPad at $17,000. I do. I really do. 17,000 is right here at $17,000. Anywhere else, it's 17,000. Still with me at 17. Online, would you like 18? 17 is here. 18 is yours. And indeed, I am out at $18,000. It is your bid at 18. Anywhere else at $18,000. Last chance to everyone else, 18,000 it is. Selling to you in New York at 18. Oh, I knew it. I knew it. I just knew it. 19,000, sir. Well done at 19,000. Straight in the room at 19. Online, do you want 20? 19 is right here at 19,000. At 19,000, my room's going to help me give you a round of applause, sir. 19,000 is here and selling to you for $19,000. Well done at 19. What a way for me to end. Thank you, sir, very much. I'm going to now delight you with David Cliveg. Thank you very much.
Morning, everyone. Thanks, Tash. Lot number 321 is next. 321. This is the Gibson Hummingbird from 1965. And I can start this at 2628. $3,000 I have at $3,000 with me. At $3,000. 32 with you online. I'm out. At $3,200. $3,500 with you in South Carolina. 3.8 is bid now. At 3.8. At $3,800, $4,000 with you in Hong Kong. Thank you for joining us. 4,200, 4,500, 4.8. At 4.8 now, $5,000, 5.5, all online at $5,500. 6,000 is bid at $6,000 for the Hummingbird at $6,000 with you. Paddle 3205 and selling for $6,000. There it is with you online. There it goes, all done for $6,000. Sold to 3205. And lot 322 is the Gibson Triny Lopez Standard. This from circa 1967. And here I can open at 3.5. 3.5 is bid with me. 3.8, $4,000. At 4,000, 4,200, 4,002 with you online. 4.5 in Texas. 4.8. At 4.8 now. $4,800, $5,000 at $5,000, 5.5, $5,500 is the bid with you. 3134 online at $5,500 for lot 322. I'm selling. Fair warning to the phones and the room at $5,500. All done. Sold to 3134, 5.5. Congratulations online. Lot number 323 is the Gibson, the semi-hollow body electric guitar from 1968. And here we can open at $3,000 now, at $3,000, 3.2, 3.5, at 3.5, at $3,500, 3.8, thank you, $4,000 just ahead of you now, 4,000, 4,200, with our bidder in Texas at 4.2. 4.2 is the bid. at $4,200. It's ahead of the room. I'm selling online for $4,200. $4,500. Thank you, Phoebe. At $4,500. $4,800. Going on at $4,800. $5,000 if you like. $4,800 is the bid, and I'm selling for $4,800. $5,000 at $5,000. Any advance at $5,000. There it is then. There it goes at $5,000. Last chance. On the hammer, I'll take it in Arizona. 5,500. At 5,500. At $5,500. At 5,500. With you in Arizona. 6,000 if you like in Texas or elsewhere. At $5,500. Pedal 3031. Last chance out. $6,000. At $6,000. For $6,000, Arizona, come back to us. It's at $6,000, just ahead of you. It's with paddle 3169, and selling then for $6,000. Really last chance at $6,000. All done. You coming in, Kerry? No, there it is then for 6. Sold to 3169. 6,000. And lot number 324. This is the custom order Flying V. This is circa 1971, the Gibson, and here we can open at $32,000, $35,000, $38,000 now. At $38,000. For $38,000. Are we going on at 38, 40,000? There it is online. At $40,000, 42,000. At $42,000. For $45,000 on the telephone. Thank you. At 45,000. With Kerry at $45,000. Here on my left on the phone. 48 if you like online. The bid is 45,000, 48,000. $50,000. 55 will be next. At $50,000. Here on the phone at $50,000. Are we going on for $50,000? It's this side. 55,000. 55 is bid. 60,000. That's $60,000. Give you a moment to think about that online. It's at $60,000 here on the telephone and selling for $60,000. Thank you for the bids online. Last chance at $65,000. You're back. Thank you. At 65. Yes, 70,000. At $70,000. It's here. At $70,000. One more if you like, otherwise I'm selling for $70,000. Thank you for the bids. It's here for $70,000. Fair warning? That's yours, 70,000. 1771. Thank you so much. And lot number 325 is the 20th anniversary Les Paul Custom, circa 1974. And interest here I can open at 32, 35, $3,800 I have at 38. At 38, thank you. $4,000. 42 I have, madam, at 42. 45, 48 with the absentee bidder. You're out. Thank you so much. $5,000 with you online. 55 I have here on the book. At 55. $5,500. 55 with the absentee bidder. Not yours online, not yours, madam. It's here with me at $5,500 for the Les Paul Custom, selling for $5,500. Last chance. 6,000. 6,500. At 6,500. For $6,500. 7,000 now with you in Michigan. 7,500 I have. With me on the book at $7,500. Ahead of all the bidders online. Not yours, madam, no regrets. At $7,500. Selling to the commission bidder for $7,500. Last chance. Sold 7,500. And that is to panel 5015. And lot 326 is next. The Les Paul Pro, 1978. And again, interest here I can open at 3,538, $4,000. At $4,000. Let's start it there, at $4,000. Commission bid with me at $4,000. At $4,000. I am selling for $4,000. Any advance? From the phones, from the room, online? The bid is here then. I can sell for $4,000. Are we all done? At $4,000. Last chance at $4,000. Sold for $1,000. And that is to 5028. On to lot number 327. The Gibson Jimmy Page limited edition. This from 2006. Shown here on the screen. Is that the right one? Yes? And I can open this at $7,000 is bid, $7,500, $8,000. At $8,000, $8,500, $9,000. At $9,000, $9,500, $10,000. $11,000, $12,000. At $12,000. With my absentee bidder at $12,000. Ahead of you online, it's here at $12,000. Ahead of the phones, at $12,000. Are we going on? For $12,000. I have it here, and I'm selling. Fair warning then, $13,000, $14,000. At $14,000. Still with me. With the absentee at $14,000. And selling. Fair warning online. I'm selling for $14,000. All done. Sold $14,000 to 1001. Lot number 328 is the custom shop Jimmy Page signature Les Paul custom 2008. And $5,000 starts it at $5,000, $5,500, $6,000 at $6,000. $6,500, thank you, $7,000 at $7,000 now. With the absentee bidder at $7,000, not yours in Illinois, at $7,000. One more if you like, at $7,000. $7,500, $8,000 at $8,000. For the Jimmy Page signature at $8,000. I have it here. I'm selling $8,500 now. I'm out with you online at $8,500. Selling to you online for $8,500. All done. Sold to $3,169. $8,500. Lot number 329 is the Murphy Lab custom shop, the reissue 2021. And let's open this, please, at $7,000, $7,500, $8,000 is bid. At $8,000 for $8,000. $8,000, $8,500, thank you, $9,000. At $9,000 now. For $9,000. Here it is, thank you, sir. $9,500 in the room. I'm out, it's with you in the room. At $9,500 on my left, $10,000 is bid. Yes, $11,000. At $11,000. Gentleman's bid in the room for $11,000. $12,000 if you like online. There it is, $12,000. Yes, $13,000. At $13,000 on my left, in the back of the room at $13,000. Last chance online, selling here $14,000. Yes, one more, $15,000. For $15,000. 16 if you like, there it is at $16,000. Yep, $17,000. For $17,000. 18 if you like online, there you are at $18,000. Last one, $19,000. At $19,000. 20 if you like online, the bid is $19,000. 20,000. Very disciplined on this Saturday morning. Yeah, excellent. At $20,000 in Illinois, no regrets, selling here for $20,000. Sold to $31,39. And lot number 320, the Explorer reissue. This one from 2021. And let's open this at $6,500. At $6,500. At $6,500. $7,000. At $7,000. $7,500. At $7,500 now. Ahead of the online bidders, $8,000 with you in California. At $8,000. $8,500. For $8,500. $9,000. at 995. 95, 10,000. 11,000. 12,000. 13,000. 14,000. 15. 16, Michigan at 16. 17,000. 18,000. California, 19,000. At $19,000. This bid is from New York. 20,000. 22,000. 22. At $22,000, bid from New York, ahead of you in Michigan, Illinois, and California for $22,000, 24,000, 26,000, 26. Are we going on at $26,000, selling to you online then for $26,000? Last chance, fair warning for this, $28,000, Arizona, new bidder in Arizona at $28,000. $28,000 is the bid. 30 if you like. For $28,000 then, last chance for $28,000. All done? 28,000. Sold to pedal 3031. 28. Thank you for all your bids online. On number 331, we move to the National String Instrument Corporation. This is the square neck resonator guitar, circa 1933, and 4548, $5,000 is bid already at $5,000. At $5,000, 55, 6,000. For $6,000 now. At $6,000. With the absentee bidder at $6,000. Ahead of you online at 6,000. 6.5 if you like. You know what to do. Click the button at $6,000. I have it here, 6.5 now, 7,000. At $7,000. Still with a commission bidder here on the book with me at $7,000. Fair warning online, I'm selling. Thank you for the bids. It's here, selling to the book for $7,000. All done. Sold 7,000. 25018. And lot number 332 is the lap steel guitar, the Silver Hawaiian from circa 1939, and $700 only for this, at $700. For $700, $800, thank you, $900, at $900. $1,000 is bid at $1,000 for the Silver Hawaiian at $1,000. Selling at $1,000, $1,100, Pennsylvania. $1,200. At $1,200. For $1,200, $1,300. At $1,300. Are we all done? At $1,300, I'm going to sell for $1,300. Last call. Sold to 3240. 1,300. Lot number 333 is the electric lap steel guitar, the Electar from around 1950. And I can open this, ladies and gentlemen, at $200 only, for $200. At $200. Any advance at $200. At $200. At $200. $300 is bid. At $300. For $300. $400. At $400. $500. $600. That's $600. With the online bidder, pedal 3240 at $600. $700. Massachusetts at $700. Are we going on for $700? I'm going to sell for $800. Still going, and $800, $900. At $900 for the Electar. At $1,900, you have it in Massachusetts. I'm going to sell for $900. Last call. Sold 900, and that is 23127. Lot number 334 is next. The hollow body electric guitar, the Casino, circa 1966, And I can open this at $1,900, $2,000, $2,600 is bid already at $2,600. For $2,600, $2,800 now. At $2,800, I'm out. $3,000 with you in Texas. $3,200. At $3,200, $3,500. For $3,500, $3,800. At $3,800, $4,000 in South Carolina. $4,200. At $4,200. $4,200. To pedal 3060, you have it online at $4,200. All done. Last chance to the rest of us at $4,500 now. You're back in South Carolina. 4,800. At 4,800. Any advance at $4,800. Selling to you online for 4,800. $5,000. At 5,000. 5,500. At $5,500. South Carolina, one more. We're at 5,500 and selling. Last chance for this one at $5,500. All done. Sold to pedal 3060. 5,500. And lot number 335 is next. This is the electric bass guitar. The hollow body bass guitar from circa 1965 by Carl Hofner, and this one we can open at $2,600, $2,800, $3,000 I have at $3,000. For $3,000, $3,200, $3,500, at $3,500 now. For $3,500. $3,800 might take it. It's with me here at $3,500. Fair warning online, I'm selling for $3,800 now at $3,800. Pedal 3117 at $3,800. I'm out. It's with you at $3,800. All done for $3,800. It's yours. $4,000. No, it's not. At $4,000. New bidder now. Pedal 3235 at $4,000. At $4,000 and selling $4,200. For $2,000. Are we going on at $4,200? You have it online. I'm going to sell it for $4,200. All done. Sold to 3117. Thank you so much. And lot number 336 is the Lucite solid body electric guitar. This from circa 1971. And I have interest here. I can open at $2,600, $2,800, $3,000 is bid at $3,000. At $3,000, $3,200, $3,500 I have. At $3,500, $3,800, $4,000 is here with me at $4,000. At $4,000. $4,000. $4,200 with you online. I'm out. It's online at $4,200. Bid from New York. Pedal 3070 and selling at $4,200. Are we all through? Fair warning to all of us at $4,200. Sold for $2,000 and 3070. As I said, well done online. And lot number 337 is the Rickenbacker semi-hollow body electric guitar, the Fire Glow from 1966, and 5,000 starts it. 5,500, $6,000 at $6,000. 6,500, 7,000 I have at $7,000. For $7,000. Should we go 7,500 online? The bid is here with me at $7,000, just ahead of you online, and selling for $7,000. Wheel done for $7,000. There it goes for $7,000. Last chance. Sold 7,000, and that is to 5011. And lot 338 is the Fender Telecaster from 1952. And here let's open at $32,000, $35,000, $38,000. At $38,000 for the Telecaster at 38, 40,000, thank you. At $40,000, 42,000. At $42,000. At $42,000. The bid is online, $45,000. Going on at $45,000. For $45,000. Any advance? At $45,000. For the Telecaster, at $45,000, you have it online for $45,000. Are we all done? $48,000. We're not done. at $48,000. For $48,000. Come back to us in South Carolina if you like. The bid is $48,000. I'm going to sell. All done for $48,000. Sold to 3134. 48. And lot number 339 is the Fender Stratocaster, this time from 1957, and 1920, 22,000 opens this for $22,000. For the Stratocaster at $22,000, $24,000, $26,000, at $26,000, $28,000 now with you in California, at $28,000. At $28,000, ahead of the room and the phones. It's in California and selling for $30,000 at $30,000 now. For $30,000. All through at $38,000. You have it, $32,000. New bidder in Ohio at $32,000. At $32,000. $35,000 if you like online. $35,000. For the 1957 Stratocaster, $35,000. The bid is in New York, $38,000. Over to Ohio at $38,000. $40,000 if you like. I'm selling at $38,000 then, $40,000. At $40,000. Shall we go on? $42,000. $45,000 if you like. Yes, at $42,000, $45,000. $45,000. $48,000. At $48,000. It's with you in Ohio. I'm going to sell fair warning in New York at $50,000. 50 is bid. 55 will be next. 55,000. Should we take it to 60 if you like? At $55,000. And selling then. Fair warning in New York. I'm selling to Ohio for $55,000. All done. Last chance at $55,000. You have it. Sold to 3074. 55. Congratulations in Ohio. Lot number 340 is next. This is the Fender Stratocaster from 1959 this time. And here I can open at $15,000, $16,000, $17,000. At $17,000 for the 59 Stratocaster. $18,000, $19,000. At $19,000, $20,000. At $20,000. $22,000. $24,000. $24,000. Are we going on? At $24,000. It's with paddle 3060 and selling to you online then for $24,000, $26,000. $26,000. At $26,000, I'm going to sell for $26,000. Thank you for all the bids for $26,000. Sold to paddle 3057. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all a very good weekend. I'll hand you over to Rachel. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you, David. I'm Rachel Kofsky-Parker, and I will be your auctioneer for the next 20 or so lots. Thank you for being here. Next, we move on to lot 341. This is a rare, custom color Fender Stratocaster from 1965. Let's begin. $35,000, $35,000, $35,000, $38,000, $40,000, $40,000 I have. Looking to my phones now, $40,000 is bid. At $40,000, with my absentee bidder here at $40,000. Are you coming in, Amelia? We're at $40,000. Looking to you, Christie's Live. $42,000, thank you for your bid. $45,000 I have here, just ahead of you in the book, at $45,000. $45,000, now $48,000. Thank you for your bid. And the book is out at $48,000. On the telephone with Amelia. Are you coming in, Christie's Live? $50,000 could be yours. At $48,000. Are we all through? I can sell to my telephone bidder, if no further advance. Fair warning. Sold, $48,000. That's to 1767. Lot 342. This is another Stratocaster, this one from 1965, and even more rare in the much coveted Lake Placid blue. Where shall we start? 26,000, 26,000, 26,000, 28,000, 30,000. Come back to me, Christie's Live, at 30,000. At 32,000, at 30,000 still, at 30,000. Looking to you, Amelia, we're still here at 30,000. 32,000 is bid. Thank you, Amelia. 32 on the phone here at 32,000. Come back to me, Christie's Live. I saw you. Let's try 35 at 32,000. Still on the phone. 35 could be yours, Christie's Live. Otherwise, I can sell to my telephone bid if we're all through. Fair warning. Sold 32,000 to 1767 again. Thank you for your bid. Lot 343 is next. This is the Fender Electric 12-string from 1966. Let's start here at $3,000. $3,000 at $3,000. At 3.2, at 3.5, try 3.8, at 3.5, at 3.8, at 4,000. Come back to me. Let's try 4.2. At 4,000. Let's try 4.2. 4.2 is bid. Thank you in Massachusetts. 4,200 now at 4.2. Anywhere else? Would you like to come back in, Texas? We're at 4,200. Are we all through? And I can sell, if no further, 4,200. Fair warning at 4.5, just in time. Thank you in New York. 4.5 is bid. Would you like 4.8 in Massachusetts? Just ahead of you, the bid is in New York at 4.5. 4.8 could do it. We're at $4,500. If no further, selling to my Christie's Live bidder in New York. Fair warning. Sold 4.5. Thank you for your bid. That's paddle 3155. Moving along, we have lot 344. This is the Fender Electric Jazz Bass from 1969. I'll start here at 3,500, at 3.5, at 3.5, at 3.8, at 4,000. Come back in. At 4.2 in Indiana. 4.5. Let's try again in Indiana. 4.8 is bid now at 4,800. The bid is in Indiana, 4,800. Looking now for 5,000. Are you coming in the room? We're at 4,800, and I'm selling to my Christie's Live bidder, if no further. Fair warning. Sold 4,800 to paddle 3202. Moving quickly along now, we have 345. This is the Fender made famous by Elvis Costello and Johnny Marr. This is the Jaguar from 1969. We've got interest here, bids on my book. Let's begin already at 3,500, at 3.8, at $4,000 already, at 4,000, at $4,000. Looking to you, Christie's Live, would you like 4.2? At 4.2 now is bid in Massachusetts at 4,200, at 4.2. Come back in, Christie's Live, we're at 4.2, and I can sell to Massachusetts, if no further. 45, thank you for your bid, sir. 45 is bid in the sale room. Ahead of you here in the sale room in Massachusetts, would you like 4.8? At 4.5, here in the Christie sale room in New York. At 4.5, and I'm selling. Last chance to you. Fair warning. Sold. Congratulations, that's paddle 107 for $4,500. Lot 346, this is a Jazzmaster from 1969, and I can begin at $3,000, at 3,000, 3,000 only, at 3,000 only. I saw you, Christie's Live, at 3.2, at 3.5. Come back to me. Let's try 3.8 in Texas. 3.8 is bid. It's with you now at 3,800. Would you like to come in at 4? We're at 3,800 in Texas. Any further advance, and I can sell 4,000. Thank you for your bid. 4,000 is bid. Try 4.2 in Texas. Ahead of you here in the Christie sale room at 4,000. 4.2 could be yours. Let's try 4.2. 4,200 is bid. Shall we try 4.5? At 4.2, still in Texas. Ahead of the sale room, could be yours at 4.5. Thinking here in the sale room, thank you for your patience in Texas. Shall we try one more? Thank you for your bids at 4-2, still in Texas, and if we're all through, I can sell. Fair warning, last chance. Sold 4,200, and that's to paddle 3209. Lot 347 is next. We have a rare Rosewood Telecaster from 1971. Beautiful piece, and we can start here at 8,500, 8,500, 8,500, 9,000, 9,500, 10,000, 11,000, try 12,000. 12,000 is bid now in Illinois at $12,000. At 12,000. 12,000 is here, 13,000 now in Pennsylvania. Many bidders here online at 13,000 in Pennsylvania. Shall we try 14,000 in Illinois? Just ahead of you in Pennsylvania. And I can sell to my bidder in Pennsylvania, if no further. 14,000 in Belgium. Welcome in Belgium. 15,000 back in Pennsylvania. Shall we go back up to 16,000 in Belgium? Just ahead of you here, it's at 15,000 in Pennsylvania. And I can sell. Last chance in Illinois, last chance in Belgium. Selling to my bidder in Pennsylvania. Fair warning, gavels up. Sold 15,000, and that's to 3018. 348, this is a limited edition Fender. This is known as the Violin Master. It's made in the style of Joshua Bell's Stradivari. It's a custom shop Telecaster. Absolutely beautiful. And let's start at 7,500. At 7,500. At 7,000, at 8,000. At 8,500. 8,500. Let's try 9,000. At 8,500, come back to me in Texas. We're at 8,500. 9,000 could be yours for the Stradivari Telecaster at 8,500. At 9,000, would you like 9,500? Just ahead of you, it's online at 9,000. Would you like 9,500? 9,500, thank you for your bid. Come back to me in Texas. It's in the Christie sale room at 9,500, and 10,000 could be yours. At 9,500, let's try 10,000. Just ahead of you with our bidder in the Christie sale room at 9,500. Come back to me, Texas, at 9,500, and I'm selling to my bidder in the Christie sale room, if no further. Fair warning to you, Christie's Live. You've got it, 9,500. Paddle, please. 121. Lot 349. This is the D'Angelico 1950 XL Archtop. We can start here at 26,000. At 26,000. At 26,000. At 28,000. At 28,000 now. At 30,000 with interest here. At $30,000. At 30,000, are you coming in Christie's Live, or at $30,000 with interest on my book? At 30,000, and I can sell at $30,000. At 30,000, are we all through? Selling to my absentee bidder for $30,000, if no further. Fair warning, Christie's Live. Sold for $30,000, and that's to paddle 1,000. Lot 350, this is the Gretsch Roundup from 1955. And I can begin 8,500, 8,500, at 8,500, at 9,000, at 9,500, 9,500. Let's try 10,000 in California at 9,500. Looking to you at 9,500. Come back to me in California at $10,000. 10,000 is bid. At 11,000 now. At 11,000. Let's try 12,000 in California. We're at $11,000. At 11,000, at 12,000 now. 12,000 is bid. The bid is in California on Christie's Live at $12,000. At 12,000. And I can sell at $12,000 if no further advance. Selling to my bidder in California. Waiting for our telephone, still with you in California. Holding here. You've got it still in California. We've got a phone line waiting here for our phone. The bid is on Christie's Live. Thank you for your interest on the phone, and I'm selling to the internet bidder now at $12,000. Sold 12,000, and that's to 3226. Lot 351. This is another Gretsch. This is the Chet Atkins Country Gentleman from 1963, and let's start here at 2,600. At 2,600. At 2,600. At 2,600. At 2,800. At $3,000 now I have here in my book ahead of you. Try again at 3,200 in South Carolina. At 3,200 is bid in a new place now, and you've cleared my book. The bid is online at 3.2 now. Shall we try 3.5 in South Carolina? We're at 3.2 with the Christie's live bidder. And I can sell to the internet if we're all through. Last chance to you in South Carolina. 3.5 in Massachusetts, in a new place this time. 3.5 is the bid. Looking back to my first Christie's live bidder, 3.8, thank you for your bid. Back with you, first Christie's live bidder at 3.240 at $3,800. Would you like 4,000 in Massachusetts? 4,000, a new bidder this time. 4,000 is bid at $4,000. At 4,000. Many bidders here online at 4.2 now, straight away. 4.2 is the bid. 4.5 will be next if you'd like it, Christie's Live, or at $4,200. Any further advance at $4,200. Are we all through? Selling to the internet. Fair warning. 4.5, just in time. Thank you for your bid, Paddle 3205. Let's try 4,800, Christie's Live. We've come a long way. We're at 4,500. 4.8 could do it. Any further advance? At 4.8 now. 4.8 is bid. Shall we round up to $5,000? We're at 4.8. $4,800. And I'm 5,000. Thank you for your bid. Just in time. We're at $5,000, and 5.5 could be yours if you'd like it, Christie's Live. At 5.5. 5.5 is bid. Would you like 6,000? We're at 5.5. Looking for 6,000 now. Waiting for you here in the Christie sale room. We're at 5,500 with the Christie's live bidder. And I'm selling to the internet. Fair warning. Sold 5,500, and that's to 3,240. Thank you for your bids. Lot 352, this is the Harmony Silvertone Rocket from 1963. And I can begin here at $500, at 500. At 500, at 600, at 700, at 800, at $800, at 800. Come back to me in Massachusetts at $800. Would you like 900? At $900 in New Jersey now. 900 is bid in New Jersey at 1,000 in Massachusetts at $1,000. Shall we try 1.1 in New Jersey? We're at 1,000, and 1.1 could be yours at $1,000. Are we all through in New Jersey? And I can sell. If no further, fair warning to you in New Jersey, last chance. Sold $1,000, and that's to 3,127. Thank you. Lot 353. This is one of only 25 made in 1928. This is the Martin Tripolot 45, and it is the epitome of Martin craftsmanship. A beautiful piece. Where shall we start? $50,000. 50,000. At $50,000. At 50,000. At 55,000. At 60,000. At 60,000. At $60,000. Let's try again, Christie's Live. At 60,000. Would you like to come in? At $60,000. At 60,000. Let's try 65. At $65,000 is bid. 65. At 70,000 now. At 70,000. At 70,000. Come back to me, Christie's Live. It could be yours at 75,000. At $70,000. Let's try again. At $70,000. At $75,000. 75 is bid with the Christie's Live bidder now at $75,000. At $75,000. Looking to my phones at $75,000 with the Christie's Live bidder. Quite sure? 80 could be yours. At $75,000, and I can sell to my Christie's Live bidder if we're all through. Last chance on the phone. Last chance in the room. Selling to the internet at $75,000. Fair warning. Sold $75,000, and that's to 3,159. Lot 354. This is another Martin. This is the Double Aught 28 from 1930. And I'll start at $13,000. At $13,000. At $13,000. At $13,000. At $13,000. Looking to my phones. At $14,000. At $14,000 now. At $14,000. At $14,000. This is the Double Aught 28. And I'm looking at you, Natasha, at $14,000. At $14,000. $14,000. And $15,000. 15,000 now, at 15,000. 15,000. Waiting for our telephone. Looking to you now, Christie's Live. We're at $15,000. 16 is next, if you'd like it. We're at 15,000. At 15,000, is that a bid? At 15,000, are we all through? Are you coming in, Natasha? 15,000, gavels up. Fair warning. Pass at 15. Lot number 355. This is another double lot 28. This is built for Gutstrings, and it's from 1934. And I have many bids here on my book, and I can begin already at 4,200, 4,200, 4,500, 4,800. Come back to me, 5,000, 5,500 I have ahead of you. Try 6,000, Christie's Live. At 6,000, at 6,500 I have. At 7,000, 7,000, at 7,200, try 7,500. 8,000 I have here in my book already. Try 8,500, Christie's Live, at $8,000 with my absentee bidder. At $8,000 in my book, at 8,000, at $8,000. Would you like 8,500, Christie's Live, at $8,000 with my absentee bidder? At 8,500 now, 8,500 is bid, and you've cleared my book. The book is out at $8,500. At $8,500, are we all through? At 9,000 in a new place now. 9,000 is bid. At $9,000. At 9,000. Come back to me, Christie's Live, at 9,500. We're at $9,000. 9,500 could be yours. At 9,500. 9,500 with the internet bidder at 9,500. Competing Christie's Live bidders here at 9,500. Let's try 10,000, Christie's Live. We're at $9,500. And I can sell to the internet at 10,000 in New York. Thank you to my bidder in New York. Many Christie's Live bidders here. We're at $10,000, and 11,000 will be next if you'd like it, Christie's Live. We're at $10,000. And I can sell to my Christie's Live bidder in New York, if no further advance. Selling here to paddle 3085, fair warning. Sold 10,000, and that's to 3085. Lot 356. This is a rare shaded top C.F. Martin D18 from 1936. Let's begin here at 32,000. At 32,000. $32,000. At 35,000. At 38,000. 38,000. 40,000. 40,000. 42,000. 42,000. Try 45. 45 is bid with the Christie's Live bidder now at 45,000. Looking to my phones at 45,000. At 45,000. Still with Christie's Live at 45. At 48 in a new place in Indiana this time. I saw you first in Indiana. We're at 48,000. At 50,000 is with the Christie's Live bidder. Competing internet bids on the phone. Would you like 55? 55 is bid. Natalie's phone line has it now at 55. 60 could be yours, Christie's Live. We're at 55,000. 60,000 back in Indiana. Ahead of you, Natalie. It's in Indiana at $60,000. At $65,000 back on the telephone. Shall we try 70,000 in Indiana? We're at 65. 70 is bid with you now, Christie's Live. At $70,000. 75,000. 75 I saw here on the phone first. I'll take it from you, Christie's Live. We're at 75,000. Let's try again, Christie's Live. 80 could be yours at 75,000. Ahead of the internet, ahead of you in Indiana, on the telephone here at $75,000. If we're all through, 80,000. We're not through. 80,000 is bid. Still with you, Christie's Live. We're at $80,000. Waiting for our telephone line at $80,000 still. Just ahead of you, Natalie, on the internet at 80,000 with the Christie's Live bidder. $80,000, still with you, Christie's Live. We're at $80,000. Ahead of the telephone. 85,000 now. 85 is the bid. I'll take 80. I'll take 83. 83,000 is the bid. 83,000. Let's try 85, Christie's Live. $85,000. 87 will be next if you'd like it, Natalie. We're at 85,000. Would you like 87? $87,000 is the bid at 87,000. Let's try 90,000, Christie's Live. We're at $87,000. Shall we try 90,000? We're at 87,000 at 90,000 at 90,000. 93 will be next. At 90,000, still with you, Christie's Live. At 90,000. At $90,000. With the internet bidder, ahead of the telephones, ahead of you, Natalie, at 90,000. And I'll take 93. Still with you, Christie's Live, waiting for our telephone at 90,000. Are we all through, Natalie? Thank you for your bids at 90,000, and I'm selling to the internet. If no further, last chance on the phone, last chance in the room, last chance in Indianapolis. Fair warning, sold 90,000 to 3048. Lot 357. This is the 1938 D18 with advanced X bracing. Where shall we start? 26,000. 26,000. At 26,000. 28,000. 30,000. At 30,000. At 30,000. At 32,000. At 32,000. 32,000. At 32. 35 will be yours, Natalie, if you'd like it. We're at 32,000 with the internet at 35. 35 is bid ahead of you, Christie's Live. It's on the phone. Let's try 38. At 38, just in time. 38 is bid. 38,000. Come back to me, Natalie. At 38,000. 38,000. Looking to you. Waiting for our telephones. At 38,000. Still with you, Christie's Live. At 40,000 in Indiana. 40 is the bid. $40,000. 42,000. Our second Christie's Live bidder at 42,000. Would you like 45 in Indiana? At 42,000. 45 could be yours at 42,000. Bidding in many places still at 42,000. At 45 now. 45 is bid. Back in Indiana. At $45,000. I'll take 48 from you, Christie's Live. I'll take 48 from you, Natalie. At 45,000, and I'm looking for 48. 48 will be next at $45,000. Still with you in Indiana at 45,000. Any further advance here at 45,000. At 45,000. Thank you for your bids, Natalie, at 45,000, and I'm selling to my Christie's Live bidder in Indiana, if no further. Fair warning. Sold 45,000, and that's to 3214. Thank you for your bids. Lot 358. This is another rare shaded top Martin. This is the double-aught 18 from 1939. Let's begin at $13,000, at 13,000, at 13,000, at 14,000, at 15,000. Come back to me at 15,000, at 16,000. 16 is bid at 16,000 now. Let's try 17,000 in Massachusetts. At 16,000, at 16,000, at 16,000 still, at 17,000 in a new place now. 17 is bid. At 17,000, looking to my phones, at 17,000, 17,000. At 18 now, 18 is the bid. $18,000. 18,000. Let's try 19,000, Christie's Live. Come back to me, Christie's Live. We're at 18,000 ahead of you with the internet bidder at $18,000. 18,000. Are you coming in, Natasha? At $18,000 still with Christie's Live. Coming in, Natalie, at $18,000. And I'm selling at $19,000 just in time. Thank you for your bid. Let's try again, Christie's Live. We're at $19,000. $19,000. Shall we try 20,000? Shall we round it up to $20,000? At 20,000, thank you for your bid. 20,000 is the bid now. Bidding in many places on Christie's Live at $20,000. At 20,000, still with you, paddle 3048. at 20,000. Any further advance, Christie's Live, I can sell to paddle 3048 for $20,000 if we're all through at 22,000. 22,000. Come back to me, paddle 3048. 24 could be yours at 22,000 with the internet bidder. 22,000 at 24,000. Dueling paddles online. Paddle 3107, 26 has got your name on it if you'd like it. We're at 24, 26 could be yours. Still here at 24,000 with the Christie's Live bidder. Any further advance? Would you like 26, 3107? I can sell to paddle 3048 for $24,000. Fair warning. Last chance. Sold 24,000 to 3048. Thank you for your bids on that lot. And finally, my final lot before I pass along the gavel to my colleague Sarah is 359. An extremely special and rare. This 1939 Martin D45 was the most highly decorated Dreadnought guitar of the era, adorned with abalone pearl. Absolutely beautiful. A wonderful piece from 1939. And let's start $130,000. $130,000. $130,000. $130,000. $140,000. $150,000. $150,000. $160,000. $160,000 is on the phone. Come back to me, Christie's Live. We're at $160,000. $160,000. Let's try again, Christie's Live. We're at $160,000. We're ahead of you here with Natalie on the phone at $160,000. Come back in, Christie's Live. This is for the 1939 abalone pearl adorned guitar. And I can sell for $160,000, $170,000 in the sale room. Just ahead of you, Christie's Live, in the sale room at $170,000. Looking to my phones, looking to the internet. $180,000 is bid online. $180,000. Would you like $190,000? $190,000. Thank you for your bid. $190,000 is the bid in the sale room at Christie's. $190,000. $190,000 still with you, sir, in the back of the sale room, and $200,000 is bid with the internet at $200,000. Quite sure. Thank you for your bids at $200,000 with the internet. $200,000. $200,000 is the bid at $200,000. Looking to my phones now at $200,000. Still with the internet at $200,000. I'll take $210,000 if you'd like it, Natalie. I'll take $210,000. We're at $200,000 with the Christie's Live bidder. And I'll take $210,000. $210,000 in the Christie sale room is bid at $210,000. Looking back to you, Christie's Live, would you like $220,000? $220,000 is bid at $220,000 now. Shall we try $230,000? Let's try again. Let's try again. $230,000 is bid. $230,000. $230,000 in the Christie sale room, and I'll take $240,000 on the phone or online. We're at $230,000. $230,000. $240,000 is the bid now at $240,000. Thank you for your bids. I appreciate your bidding with us. We're at $240,000. And I can sell to the internet, if no further, all through on the phone, $250,000 in a new place this time. $250,000 is bid in North Carolina. Welcome in North Carolina at $250,000. Looking to you, my Christie's Live bidder, would you like $260,000? At $250,000 in North Carolina, $260,000 is bid. Thank you, Christie's Live. We're at $260,000. $260,000. Shall we try $270,000 in North Carolina? We're at $260,000 with the Christie's Live bidder. And I can sell $270,000. Thank you for your bid. Competing bids online at $270,000. Looking now for $280,000 at $270,000. $280,000 will be next. $280,000 is bid. $280,000. Let's try $290,000. We're at $280,000. $290,000 could be yours at $280,000. Shall we try 290,000 in North Carolina? We're waiting for you here in the sale room. We're at $280,000. 290,000. Thank you for your bid. 290,000. With our bidder in North Carolina on Christie's Live at $300,000 with the Christie's Live bidder. 300 is the bid. At 300,000 now. Would you like 310 in North Carolina? We're at 300 and 310 could be yours. At $300,000 with the Christie's Live bidder. 310,000 is the bid now at 310. 310. 310,000. How does 320 sound? Christie's Live, would you like 320? We're at 310, still in North Carolina. Our Christie's Live bidder on the internet at 310. Are we all through Christie's Live? At 310,000 in North Carolina, and I can sell, unless you'd like 320. If you'd like to try just one more time, now's your chance. At 310,000 in North Carolina, selling. Fair warning. Sold 310,000 to paddle 3025. Thank you to all my bidders on that lot, and I'm now delighted to pass the gavel along to my colleague Sarah.
Thank you, Rachel, and hello, everyone. Delighted to take you through the end of today's auction. We will continue straight away with lot 360. This is a C.F. Martin & Co. 1946 acoustic. And let's start here with bids on my book at $4,800, $5,055 is bid with me. At $5,500, $6,000 online, $6,500 I have. Come back to me online at $6,500 with me. $7,000, $7,500, still with me. $8,000, $8,500, back on the book at $8,500, $9,000, $9,500. Please try again. Just ahead of you, Christie's Live. $10,000 in Belgium. I'm out. Online bidder has it right now at $10,000, $11,000 going on in Massachusetts at $11,000. $12,000 back in Belgium at $12,000 coming in, Natalie, at $12,000 in Belgium. Please try again, Christie's Live at $12,000. $13,000 back in Massachusetts now. At $13,000. What shall we do in Belgium? Would you like 14? $14,000, thank you. I have your bid now in Belgium at $14,000. Who would like 15? $15,000 back in Massachusetts. $16,000. Come back to me, Massachusetts, please, at $16,000. One more could be yours at $16,000. Still in Belgium. And selling then to the bidder in Belgium, $17,000, just in time, new online bidder. All happening online here at $17,000. Are we going on? Christie's Live at $17,000. All done in Belgium, Massachusetts, $17,000, last chance to you, and fair warning, it's going for $17,000. Sold to paddle 3250. Thank you all for your bids. Lot 361, Martin & Co. 1947 acoustic, 1314, $15,000 now at $15,000. Who would like 16 at $15,000? At $15,000, $16,000 with Natasha, thank you. Just ahead of you, Christie's Live, at $16,000 on the telephones here. At $16,000, come back to me at 17, please. At $16,000 on the phone. Christie's Live, please try again. I have 16 on the telephones, 17 is next. Are you all done, Christie's Live? 17,000. 18,000, back with Natasha at 18,000 here. Would you like 19, Christie's Live? At 18,000. Now's the chance to come back, please, at 18. 19,000. Would you like 20? 20,000. Nod of the head. 20,000 is bid on the telephone. Please give me 22 Christie's Live. At 20,000, I have on the phones. Will you give me 22? At 20,000 then, I'm selling to Natasha's bidder for $20,000. Last chance online, 22. Just in time. Would you like 24? 24,000, thank you. Come back to me a little more quickly, please, online at 24,000. Now's your chance if you would like 26. Otherwise, it's going to Natasha for $24,000. All done at 24. It's yours. Paddle 1770, congratulations. Lot 362, C.F. Martin & Co. 1999 acoustic. This is the Stephen Sills signature model. 13,000, 14,000, 15,000 now at 15,000. Who would like 16? At 15,000. At 15,000 here. 16,000 is bid straight away in Texas. Thank you, Christie's Live. I have your bid. At 16,000, I can sell here. At 16,000, any further advance on 16,000 and selling at 16. 17,000 just in time. Texas, come back to me. I have 17 from 3107. Please give me 18, Texas. 18,000 now. At 18. Would you like 19? At 18,000, Texas has it, and selling at 18,000. Last chance then to my other online bidder at $18,000. Sold to you in Texas, paddle 3173. Well done, 18,000. 363, this is the C.F. Martin & Co. 1997 acoustic. Let's start here at 2,200, 24, 26 at 2,600, just ahead of you, Christie's Live. 2,800, I have your bid at 2,800, 3,000 now in Texas. At $3,000, 3,200 in Canada. At 3,200, come back to me. Several Christie's Live bidders here. At 3,200, ahead of you all. At 3,200, who would like 3,500? 3,500 now in Florida. 3,800, Massachusetts. 4,000. 4,200 now, back in Massachusetts. At 4,500 now. At 4,500, are we going on, Christie's Live bidders? At 4,500, 4,800 now. 4,800. All with the Christie's Live bidders at 4,800. Are we all done in Canada? At 4,800, and selling then to the Massachusetts bidder for 4,800. Sold to you, paddle 3127. Lot 364, another Martin & Co. 2001 acoustic, and absentee interest here can begin at 26, 28, 30's bid. At 30,000, here with my bidder. At 30,000, bid with me. Who would like 32? At 30,000, absentee bidder who couldn't join us today. At 30,000, are we all done? And selling then to the absentee for $30,000. Sold to paddle 5019, 30,000. 365, C.F. Martin & Co. 2001 acoustic, Eric Clapton signature edition. 9, 5, 10, 11 at 11,000. Who would like 12 at 11,000 here? At 11,000, Christie's Live. Please bid for this one. At 11,000, ahead of you all. At 11,000 for lot 365 here. At 11,000. Who will give me 12, please? 12,000. Thank you, Christie's Live. I have your bid. And selling to you for $12,000. 13 in Delaware, just in time. Thank you. I have your bid now. 14,000. At 14,000. Who would like 15? At 14,000. Would anybody like 15? Last chance, Christie's live at 14,000. And selling then to you in Belgium for $14,000. Sold to you, paddle 3211. 14. Lot 366, this 2004 acoustic, 28,000 to start, at 28,000. At 28,000. Who would like 30? At 28,000 now. At 28, Christie's live. 30,000 in Delaware, thank you. 32,000 now. At 32,000, please come back to me, Delaware. At 32,000, would you like 35? 35,000, I have your bid. And selling to you at 35,000. Fair warning to the rest, at 35, and selling 38, not yet. 38 now with paddle 3068, 40,000 back in Delaware. At 40,000, please give me 42. At 40,000. Are we going on, Christie's live? At 40,000, Delaware bid, and selling at 40,000. Sold to paddle 3073. Thank you so much. Lot 367, this Martin & Co. 2004 acoustic, another Stephen Sills signature edition, and 6,500 to start, 7,075. At 7,500, 8,000 in Florida, thank you. At $8,000, selling bid here at 8,085, not yet. At 8,500, who would like 9? 9,000. 9,000. 9,500, thank you so much in the back. At 9,500, 10,000 now in Florida. Would you like 11? 11,000. 11's bid in the room. Please give me 12, Christie's live. At 11,000. Are we going on, Christie's live? I have the bid here in the room at 11,000. 12 is next, if you would like. If not, it's selling to the room bidder. 12,000 back in Florida. Would you like 13? 13,000, thank you. 13,000 is bid. Would you like 14, Christie's live? 13,000 is in the room. Selling then to the room bidder for $13,000. No regrets online for 13. Sold to you, sir. Paddle 121. Congratulations. Lot 366, apologies, 368, we're not going backwards. C.F. Martin & Co. 2005, this acoustic Stephen Sills signature edition, and 65775 at 7,500. Who would like 8? At 7,500. Florida, perhaps you can get this one. 8,000 is bid online. At $8,000. Any further advance? At 8,000. Who would like 8.5? At 8,000. All done then, at 8,000, and selling at 8,000. Sold to you, paddle 3240. Lot 369. Please note that this lot does not include fossilized mammoth ivory as stated in the printed catalog. This is the C.F. Martin & Co. 2006 acoustic, the Harvey Leach Chinese Dragon Dreadnought. And let's begin with my absentee bid here at 20,000, 22, 25 is bid. At 25,000 is bid with me. Who would like 28? At 28,000, thank you, Christie's live. 30,000 I have. 32, 35, 38, 40, 42, 45, still with me. 48, I'm out. At 48,000, your bid, Christie's live. At 48,000, at 48. Any further advance? At 48,000, Christie's live, I think you have it, at 48,000, and selling to you at 48. Sold to you, paddle 3068. Congratulations. And we will thank our underbidder. Lot 370, this C.F. Martin & Co. 2006 acoustic, Mark Knopfler signature edition, prototype. I have competing bids already on my book, so I must begin already at 6,000, 6,500, and 7,000 is bid. At $7,000, on the book. At 7,000, 7,500, 8,000 I have. At 8,000 with me. 8,500, 9,000. At 9,000, 9,500, 10,000, still with my top absentee bidder. At $10,000, would you like 11? At 10,000, 11,000, New York has it, I'm out. At $11,000, it's on Christie's Live. Any further bidders online coming back in at 11,000, New York has it. At 11, 12,000 back in the room, thank you. Just ahead of you, Christie's Live, 13,000 now back in New York online. 14,000, 14,000 here in the room at Rockefeller Center. Would you like 15, Christie's Live? At 14,000 here in the room, 15,000 now online. Would you like 16? 16,000. 16,000 here. Please give me 17, Christie's Live. I have 16 from the room, 17,000 now in New York online. Would you like 18? 18,000. Good decision. At 18,000 here in the room, would you like 19? 19,000. All done. Thank you for letting me know. At 19,000, Christie's Live, you might have it. No regrets in the room. At 19,000 and selling to you, Christie's Live, for 19. Sold to you, paddle 3057 for 19. Thank you for your bids in the room. Lot 371, this C.F. Martin & Co. 2007 acoustic, Stephen Sills signature edition. My absentee bid can begin at 775 and 8 is bid already at $8,000 here on the book at 8,000. Just ahead of you, Christie's Live. Would you like 8.5? 8,500. Thank you. 9,000. Back with me. At $9,000, would you like 9.5? 9.5. 10,000. At 10,000, 11,000. I'm out. New Jersey has it at $11,000 and selling at 11. Sold to paddle 3118. Lot 372, another C.F. Martin & Co. 2004 acoustic custom shop Dreadnought Celtic for Jim Irsay. And 13,000 to start at 13,000. 13,000 here. Who would like 14? At 13,000. At 13,000. Lot 372, 14,000. Thank you, Texas. 15,000 now. At 15,000. At 15,000, 16,000 now in Delaware. At 17,000 now. At 17,000, come back to me, Delaware. At 17,000, 18,000. Thank you, Delaware. You have it at 18,000. Any further advance? On 18,000. At 18,000. 19,000 now in Pennsylvania. At 19,000. 20,000 back in Delaware. All happening online. Several bidders still with us here online at 20,000. Would you like 22? At 20,000 in Delaware. 22 back in Pennsylvania. At 22. What shall we do, Delaware? Would you like 24? At 22,000, Pennsylvania bidder has it at 22. And selling then to Pennsylvania for 22. Just with the hammer, thank you, John, at 24,000 in Delaware. Would you like 26, Pennsylvania? At 24,000. Thank you, Pennsylvania. I still have your bid now at 26, Delaware. Please come back to me. You almost missed it that time. At 26,000, please try again at 26,000 in Pennsylvania. No regrets this time. Selling then at 26. Last chance at 26. Sold to paddle 3219. Thank you for the extra bid, Delaware. Lot 373, this C.F. Martin & Co. 2012 acoustic custom shop Eric Clapton Crossroads. 19,000 to start at 19,000. At $19,000 now. At 19,000. At 19,000, who would like 20? At 19,000. 20,000, 22,000 now. At 22,000, who would like 24? At 22,000, please come back to me, Christie's Live. Try again now at 22,000, just ahead of you. At 22,000, who would like 24? At 22,000, ahead of the room, ahead of you online at 22,000. Quite sure, Christie's Live. Please try again. You almost had it there at 22,000. Come back to us, please, at 22. All done then, at 22,000. That's a pass. Lot 374, the Martin & Co. 2014 Acoustic, and 24,000 to start at 24. At 24. Who would like 26? At 24,000. 24. At 24 now. 26,000. Thank you online. At 26,000. 28,000 now. Please try again. At 28,000. At 28,000, would you like 30? At 28,000. Please try one more time at 28,000. Just ahead of you now. 30,000. Thank you in the room. At 30,000. A new bidder now at 30,000. Christie's Live, are you coming back now? At 13,000 in the room and selling to the room for 30,000. Sold to you, sir, 121. Congratulations. Lot 375, this C.F. Martin & Co. 2015 Acoustic Custom Shop. 13,000, 14,000, 15,000 now. At 15,000, who would like 16? At 15,000. At 15,000. 16,000, thank you, Christie's Live. At 16,000, paddle 30881 has it. At 16,000. And selling then, if no further, at 16,000, I think you have it at 16. Sold to you, paddle 3081. Lot 376, this Martin & Co. 2016 Acoustic Custom Shop Dreadnought, and 4,000-4245 at 4,500. Who would like 4.8 at 4,500 here? Looking for 4.8 next at 4,500. Ahead of you all at 4.5. Any further advance on 4.5? Christie's Live, please try again. There you are, 4,800. You have it at 4.8 and selling to you at 4.8. Sold to paddle 3240. What am I doing? Oh, 377, let me organize myself, is the Collings Guitars 2008 Acoustic. And let's begin here at 1,700, 1,800, 1,900 now. At 1,900, just ahead of you, Christie's Live. $2,000 is bid in Texas at $2,000. Any further advance online on $2,000, 2.2 now, not done yet. At 2,200, 2.4, back in Texas. 2.6. At 2,600. Please try again, Christie's Live. At 2,600 is now in Canada. At 2.6. Are we all done then, Christie's Live? At 2,600, it's going to Canada for 2.6. Sold to you, paddle 3184. Congratulations. And before we move on to the final lot of today's sale, we were actually going to be reopening a few lots from earlier in the session. The first being lot 301. And this is the Gibson Incorporated, circa 1914, a harp guitar. And this lot is now being offered with no... Excuse me? Oh, well, I'll go on. This lot is now being offered with no reserve. And I will be looking for a bid of 4,000 to begin, please. Thank you, Christie's Live, at 4,000 in Massachusetts. And I'll wait for you, Peter. At 4,000, Christie's Live, thank you for your patience. We are reconnecting a telephone. At $4,000, I have your bid. The phone is ringing. Suspense. At 4,000. Is it ringing? Connection's made. At $4,000, we're just waiting for the connection. Thank you, Christie's Live, for your patience. I can't tell from his facial expressions if he has a connection or not. It's ringing. That's positive. 4,200. Thank you for joining us, New York. We have an auction at 4,200. Massachusetts, please come back to us at 4,200. Now 4,500. Thank you for entertaining us with bids while we wait for this connection at 4,500. Who would like 4.8? At 4,500 back in Massachusetts. At 4.5, New York. Would you like 4.8? I can only wait so long, but 4,800 is now bid in New York. Massachusetts, would you like 5,000? At 4,800. Now I ask for your patience in New York. Thank you. At 4,800, 5,000 back in Massachusetts. At $5,000. New York, come back to us, please. Next bid is 5,500 if you would like. At 5,000 now. At 5,500 back in New York. At 5.5. Please give me 6. At 5.5 now. I'll give you a moment, Massachusetts. There you are, 6,000. At $6,000, please give me 6.5, New York. At 6,000. How are we doing on the phones here? Not going to happen. Okay, thank you for letting me know. At $6,000, Massachusetts, you have it. New York, are we going on? It's in Massachusetts now at $6,000 and selling then for $6,000. Sold to you, Massachusetts. Thank you so much for your patience. Paddle 3127. The next lot we will be reopening is lot 304. This is the Gibson Incorporated circa 1949 acoustic archtop guitar. And let's begin here at 5,500, 6,000, 6.5. At 6,500. 7,000, thank you, back of the room. At 7,000, I have your bid. At $7,000, and I can sell here. Any further advance on 7,000, 7.5, bid online. Would you like 8,000? $8,000, why not? Might as well try. Thank you so much. At $8,000, back in the room. Christie's Live, what shall we do? Would you like 8,500? I have 8,000 in the room now. At $8,000, I'll give you a fair warning then, Christie's Live, and selling to the room for 8,500, just in time. All done, quite sure. Thank you for letting me know. Christie's Live, that may have done the trick at 8,500 and selling to you. No regrets, right? At 8,500. Sold to paddle 3240. For 8.5. Okay. Now we move along to lot 378. This is the Collings guitar 2015 acoustic, and let's start here at 2,200. 2,200. Who will give me 2.4? Just ahead of you, Christie's Live. 2.4 now in Texas. Thank you. At 2,400, I have your bid. 2,600 now online. 2.8. Thank you, Rhode Island. At 2,800, who would like 3? At 2,800, 3,000 now is bid in a new place. 3,200. At 3,200. At 3,200. Are we all done, Christie's Live? Now's the time for the last lot of the sale, I believe. Lot 3,200, unless I'm told otherwise. Lot 3,200, and it's coming to you in Rhode Island for 3,200. Sold to you, paddle 3093. Thank you all so much for joining us. And we hope you will join us as well for our online sale, which will go on through Tuesday. Thank you so much.